My name is Robert Machingura. I come from the Diocese of Chinhoyi. I am formerly a Catholic priest who entered the seminary in 1990 and was ordained in 1996. I served in St. Albert's Mission and the Pastoral Center in Chinhoyi. And there, in between, I went to do my master's in the Netherlands at the Catholic University of Nijmegen. And I obtained my master's in intercultural theology. And I came back. I was reassigned to the Pastoral Center. And then I was sent on sabbatical to Scotland, where I worked as a parish priest of 2 parishes in the Scottish borders for 2 years. And I started also studying there at Queen Margaret University for a second master's in international health and development, which I didn't then complete. I had only done all the modules. And when I came back to do my research for my thesis, I was then suspended over some issues which probably were brewing during my absence. So as such, I just said, no, that's fine. I think I also need a rest now. Let me just go and do my own things. So I left the diocese and I ventured into farming from 2012, and I'm still doing farming that's very close to Chinhoyi town. That's where my farm of 119 hectares is. I'm specializing in dairy farming and other livestock projects there. I'm satisfied with what I'm doing. Yes, it was painful when I was asked to leave, but after a while I adjusted to the new status in the so-called world, where there are a lot of challenges, especially economical challenges. So at the beginning was quite some struggle. But somebody who was brought up in a family of farmers in Hurungwe, I made use of the soil. And as of today, I am quite doing fine at my farm. And I'm able to look after myself and other people with me there. Yes, the life I lived as a priest, it was very good. When I look back now, I can see, yes, it was good that I became a priest, but it's not all roses there as one might imagine. So at the end, I personally asked it to leave. I think 80% I did enjoy very much. It was always very good when we interacted at different forums with other priests. And I was lucky that for a couple of years I served as a consultant to the bishop. From priesthood, I've learned that it is quite a noble responsibility to serve the people of God in that capacity. It's unfortunate that I'm out, but really it was very inspiring, even enriching to my own personal faith when I was able to assist many parishioners. When I was able to assist many parishioners in different spheres of life, I baptized quite a lot of people, I married quite a lot of people, I even advised a lot of youth. At some point I was the youth director as well. Some who are priests today, they also pass through my care as their pastoral youth director. So I think the priesthood is a noble job. It's unfortunate that you meet challenges which end up seeing you out of the system, but that's the most noble responsibility or job I can think of. There could be some bitterness which can develop from that act of suspension, and that bitterness is not healthy to the individual himself, it's not healthy to the believing community around him. Yeah, like I said earlier on, I had several challenges there because I literally moved out with my bag with clothes. A lot of stuff I had left them in Scotland because I was supposed to come to go back after my research here. So it was not easy to integrate into society. There were lots of challenges. Thanks to God, I had some people, some local friends, especially one particular white farmer in the area where my farm is, who understood my situation and encouraged me to try dairy farming with the little I had, and that trick worked. And now I can safely say I am now established, well established. Well, I love my church, yes, and this is why I didn't leave the church. Yes, I stopped for a while, not going to church because of the place where I stay. On Sundays there are no much traffic. There's not much traffic coming into Chinhoyi, where there is only the Catholic Church. You find it only in Chinhoyi. But once I became mobile, then I'm always part of the people of God in the cathedral in Chinhoyi. So I don't have negative feelings towards the church. At the time you heal, you forgive, and you move on. What is important to me is that I continue to keep my faith. Yes, vocation came on top of faith. It was not the other way around. So the main issue for me is not that I should have continued as a priest. Okay, if other things being equal, that would have been ideal. But the main issue here is to work towards going to heaven in whatever capacity I'm serving. My advice to such colleagues is they should be honest with themselves. It doesn't help themselves or their souls to live a kind of life which is not in accordance with their core. I think they should be men enough to say, well, I've tried my best, but things are not working well for me. Let me excuse myself. Because now when I see from outside, I can see some of the injuries I could have been causing to the believing communities through my behavior. Especially at the time, really, I think I took a lot of beer out of frustration or depression at some point. There could be some brothers who are struggling with some of these shortcomings. I think one has to evaluate himself, and if he realizes it's becoming too much, I think the best thing to do is to ask the bishop to relieve you from your duties. But this is where then the church should not just say let somebody go just like that. It should facilitate the process of reintegration into the society, to the communities where one came from. Yeah, there was a lot of stigmatization. Yes, I think for some people, once one leaves priesthood, you are now belonging to the failed group, to the group of sinners, according to the way how the world perceive priests and religious. It's either you are in or you are out. If you are in, you are good. If you are out, you are bad. So there was quite some tension with some parishioners who would not take that lightly. But there were some who never stopped liking me, regardless of what had happened. Those became my pillars even up to today, which helped me quite a lot, even during the time when I was not able to attend Mass due to the transport problems I alluded to earlier on. Some would come to visit me at the farm. More lay people supported me. Some of them put barriers, but that situation now has changed. So I interact now with more and more priests, and more priests even come to share. There are many ways of helping the ex-priests, ex-religious, which the church can use. Remember, brother, we were educated by the church, like myself with almost 3 degrees. So that knowledge and expertise I still have. And so if the church is open to me and others, they can make use of us in certain areas or in certain institutions run by the church. We can still play an active role. The synod at least opened an avenue which was not there, especially in the local church. Somewhere else, like in Europe, they were used from the 1960-somethings to priests and religious living in masses. But here it's a new phenomenon. And so even though the language of this synodality is being spoken about, but I think it's more remaining on the level of talking, not of actualizing, putting it into practice when it comes to incorporating the ex-priests.